All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into Google's huge new play for workplace AI, Gemini Enterprise. And look, if you're thinking this is just another AI add-on for your email, you're going to want to stick around because Google is playing a much, much bigger game here. So here's the big idea Google is pushing. They're basically saying we're at this massive turning point for AI at work. We're moving way beyond AI that just, answers our questions. The real revolution, the big shift, is AI that actually does stuff for you. And honestly, this is a total mind shift in how we even think about AI in the office. The real game changer isn't an AI that can just spit out information. No, it's one that can take action, one that can handle a whole workflow from the very beginning to the very end. And that leads us right to the heart of what Gemini Enterprise is all about. It's this concept called Agentic AI. So what is that? Well, imagine a super smart assistant that you don't have to micromanage at all. You just give it a goal, say, plan the team offsite, and it figures out the how. It creates the plan, it executes the steps, and it does this across all your different apps and systems without you holding its hand. Okay, so what exactly is this new platform? And maybe more importantly, how is it different from all the other Google AI tools we've already seen? Let's get into it. All right, this is super important because it clears up a ton of confusion. First off, Gemini Enterprise is a totally separate, standalone platform on Google Cloud. This is not the old Gemini add-on for Gmail and Docs that's actually going away. Instead, think of this as a whole new toolkit. It's got the AI models, it's got these ready-made agents, and it even has no-code tools so you can build your own AI assistants. So Google built this whole system on 5 key pillars. Let's walk through them. First, you've got the brains, the super powerful Gemini 2.5 models. Second, you get these pre-built agents right out of the box for common stuff. Third, there's a no-code builder, which is huge because it lets literally any employee build their own custom AI agents. Fourth, it plugs into all your data, not just Google stuff, but Microsoft 365, Salesforce, SAP, you name it. And finally, there's a control panel for IT, so they can manage security and see what's going on. Now, you might be wondering about the difference between Gemini Business and Enterprise. The key thing to get is that they're built for different scales. Business is great for smaller teams, but Enterprise, that's the whole shebang. It's built for huge organizations that need way more power, security, and basically unlimited use. We're talking more agents, deeper connections into heavy-duty systems like SAP, and top-tier security features that big companies absolutely need. Things like special network controls and letting companies use their own encryption keys to lock down their data. Okay, so that's all the theory. But what happens when the rubber meets the road? How does this stuff actually perform in the real world? Let's check out some really powerful examples from companies that are already using it. And it's probably no surprise where we're seeing the fastest adoption. It's in fields that are just swimming in data. Finance and healthcare are way out in front. I mean, we're talking a projected 3.4 times jump in deployment just this year. And it makes sense, right? These are industries where if you can automate super complex data analysis, the payoff is immediate and it's huge. Just look at this, Virgin Voyages. After they brought in Gemini agents, they saw a massive 28% year-over-year jump in sales for this past July. I mean, that's not just a cool tech story, that is a direct hit to the bottom line. That's real money. So, how'd they do it? Well, it wasn't just one magic button. They rolled out over 50 different specialized agents. My favorite is one they called Email Ellie. They trained it on their own internal brand guidelines, and its whole job was to write marketing emails. And the result? They were able to create marketing campaigns 40% faster. Incredible. Okay, check out this one from Macquarie Bank. This is a super regulated industry, right? They managed to cut down on false positive alerts for client protection by 40%. Now, that is a huge deal for both efficiency and, actually protecting their clients accurately. And their strategy was bold. They rolled out Gemini Enterprise to all employees. They trained pretty much the entire company on how to use this stuff. They used agents to crunch data and get way better at spotting fraud, but they also saw this other cool benefit, a 38% jump in employees solving their own problems using the internal help center. But, it's not all perfect, let's be real. Rolling out a platform this powerful comes with some serious growing pains. And the early adopters have definitely run into some very real challenges. So while the promise is this amazing efficiency, the reality on the ground has been a bit tougher. For example, that super powerful Gemini 2.5 Pro model, it's got an average response time of 35 seconds.
I mean, in a fast-paced job, that's an eternity. And then you add in security bugs, APIs that just aren't reliable, and a pretty complicated pricing model that's more than just the monthly fee. And yeah, you've got some major hurdles to clear. And if you look at just the chatbot market, who are people actually chatting with? It's pretty clear Gemini has a long way to go. Even though it's baked into everything Google, as a destination chatbot, it's still way behind competitors like ChatGPT and Microsoft's Copilot. But, that data might be telling us that Google is playing a totally different game. Maybe the goal isn't to be the #1 chatbot. Maybe the real strategy is to create this invisible layer of AI that's just everywhere, woven into search, Android, workspace. The idea is to become the basic plumbing, the infrastructure for how we all get work done. And all of this really points to Google's much bigger vision for the future of work, something they call ambient AI. And if you look at their roadmap, the strategy becomes crystal clear. It's all about putting AI on every single device and platform. We've already got the Pro and Flash models. Next, Gemini is coming to your watch through Wear OS. Then comes the even more powerful Ultra model. And looking further out, they're planning to merge Android and Chrome OS, and even bake these tiny Gemini Nano models right into our phones with Android 16. So this shift from an AI that just tells you things to an AI that actually does things, it's one of the biggest changes we've ever seen. The tech is here, and it's getting better at a terrifying speed. So the real question isn't what can AI do anymore. The question is your business ready to actually hand over the reins? Are you ready for an AI that doesn't just help you, but actually does the work itself?